Hello everyone. Today let us discuss about electric field due to uniformly charged infinite plane sheet. Electric field due to uniformly charged infinite plane sheet. This is also one of the applications of Gauss law. Previously we have seen one application and now today we are seeing one more application of Gauss law. So, this mainly helps us to find the electric field due to a uniformly charged infinite plane sheet. You can see in the picture there is a sheet. So, the sheet is uniformly charged with a positive charge. The sheet is uniformly charged with a positive charge. The surface charge density is sigma. Surface charge density is sigma. Sigma is the surface charge density, that is, charge per 1 unit area of the sheet. Charge per 1 unit area of the sheet. Now, we will take x axis normal to the given plane. Normal means all of you know that is perpendicular to the plane. So, it is a three-dimensional picture. So, in this three-dimensional picture, this is what we can draw. This is how we can draw. So, we can see here x-axis is perpendicular to the plane sheet. Therefore, by symmetry, the electric field will not depend on y and z coordinates, and its direction at every point must be parallel to x axis. So once again, I repeat, by symmetry, the electric field will not depend on y coordinate and also z coordinate, and its direction is everywhere. That means every point must be parallel to x axis. Must be parallel to x axis. Now, if you see this figure, to find the electric field, first we have to imagine Gaussian surface around the sheet. We know Gaussian surface is an imagination which we take around any charged wire or charged sheet or any charged object. So, Gaussian surface I have already explained in my previous videos. That is nothing but the surface through which we calculate the flux. The surface through which we calculate the flux. Therefore, Gaussian surface helps us to calculate the electric field because mainly we use it to calculate the flux. In this case of a this one sheet, in the case of this sheet, we have taken a parallel pipe of cross sectional area A as shown in the figure. That means you can imagine like a box shape, a rectangular box shape you can imagine. A box means you all know a box. You carry a geometry box, you carry many other boxes. So you know the box. A box contains six surfaces: up, down, left, right, front, back. Like that, six surfaces are there for a box. So this is like just like a box above the surface we are imagining. This is an imagination. Gaussian surface is always an imagination. So if you see that the sheet is charged and the electric field is along the positive x direction and also along the negative x direction. You can see once again the electric field, because of this positively charged sheet, is along the positive x direction and also along the negative x direction. We are uh, we are keeping this sheet exactly in the middle of our Gaussian surface. That means our imagination of an rectangular box, that is rectangular parallel piped box, we are keeping like that, and in the center we are imagining the sheet which is uniformly charged. You can see the electric field is along x-axis. Then the box has a six surfaces. For the top surface, the normal will be upward. Therefore, angle between up arrow, that is normal to the top surface, and the electric field is 90 degrees. Therefore, the top surface will not contribute for the flux. Similarly, if you take the bottom surface, for the bottom surface, the normal will be downwards. Therefore, the angle between normal to the bottom surface and the electric field is 90 degrees. Therefore, that will also not contribute to the flux. Why? We know the formula for the flux. Flux is equal to EA cos theta. EA cos theta. It is a dot product of electric field and the area. Now, coming to the point, it is a dot product. Therefore, if the angle theta is equal to 90 degrees, then cos 90 becomes 0. Therefore, flux is equal to 0. Similarly, if you look at the front surface, the normal to the front surface will be towards our side. Then angle between electric field and the normal is once again 90. Therefore, that will also not contribute for the flux. If you see that back surface, normal to that back surface will be outwards in the backward direction. Now angle between electric field and the backward arrow, once again it is 90 degrees. Therefore, that will also not contribute to the flux. Then what will contribute to the flux? Only the two faces which I have pointed here as 1 and 2 will contribute to the flux, because electric field lines are parallel to the other faces. Therefore, they don't contribute to the total flux. Therefore, they don't contribute to the total flux. But in this case, for these two surfaces, that is surface 1 and surface 2, electric field is normal. Normal means perpendicular to the surface. Perpendicular to the surface. Now, if you come to the point, the unit vector normal to the surface 1 is in minus x direction, while the unit vector normal to surface 2 is in plus x direction. Therefore, the flux E bar dot delta S bar through both surfaces are equal and add up. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is, if you take the face, that is face 1, that is surface 1, then the normal to that one, as I have shown here, it is outwards, that is from our right to left. Then the direction of the electric field and the normal both are in the same direction. Therefore, the angle between them becomes 0. Cos 0 is equal to 1. Therefore, surface 1 will contribute for the flux. Similarly, if you take the surface 2, if you take the surface 2, here also normal to the surface 2 is outwards, that is from our left to right, and the electric field is also in the same direction. Therefore, angle between the normal and the electric field, that is also 0. Therefore, cos 0 is equal to 1. Therefore, surface 2 also contributes for the electric flux. Therefore, on in general, flux through surface 1, EA cos 0, that is E into A, where A is the cross sectional area of this Gaussian surface. A is the cross sectional area of this Gaussian surface. Similarly, if you take the flux for the first one, that is EA, and if you take the flux for the second surface, that is also EA, therefore total flux is equal to 2EA. Therefore, total flux is equal to EA plus EA, that is 2EA. Now, coming to the point, the charge enclosed by the closed surface is sigma A. We all know sigma is the surface charge density. That means for one unit area, charge density is sigma. for 1 unit area, for 1 unit area, surface charge density is sigma. Therefore, for A units of area, for A capital A units of area, that is sigma into A. Once again, I repeat, sigma is for 1 unit of area. Therefore, for A units of area, the charge is sigma into A. Therefore, let us see now. Now, if you see, sigma is the charge density for 1 unit area, and therefore for A units of area, charge density is sigma A. That is, A is the cross-sectional area of the plate. That is also the cross-sectional area of this Gaussian surface which we are imagining. Therefore, we have already seen total flux is equal to 2EA. Therefore, as per the Gauss law, total flux through a Gaussian surface is equal to total charge enclosed by the surface divided by epsilon naught. Gauss theorem says that the total flux enclosed by the total flux enclosed by the Gaussian surface is equal to total charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface divided by epsilon naught. Now, let us assume Q is the total charge, but total charge, as already I have explained you, that is sigma A. Therefore, as per the Gauss law, the flux, that is the total flux through the Gaussian surface, is equal to sigma A by epsilon naught. Sigma A by epsilon naught. So, we will equate both the equations. We have calculated the flux according to the flux formula, that is 2EA. Now we have calculated the flux according to the Gauss law, that is sigma A by epsilon naught. Therefore, we will equate them, that is 2EA is equal to sigma A by epsilon naught. 2EA, as per the definition of the flux we have calculated, sigma A by epsilon naught we have calculated as per the Gauss law, and we have equated both of them. And after equating both of them, both the sides A and A cancel. Therefore, E is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught. This is in the magnitude form. Therefore, again we have to express everything in the vectorial form. So, vectorially, E bar is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught n cap. Vectorially, E bar is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught n cap, where n cap is a unit vector normal to the plane and going away from it. We all know the unit vectors, as I have already explained in my earlier videos. N cap is the unit vector normal to the plane and going away from it. And E bar is directed away from the plate if sigma is positive, and towards the plate if sigma is negative. We all know that for a positive charge, the direction of the electric field is outwards. For a negative charge, the direction of the electric field is inwards. So we can conclude that E bar is always away, that is directed away from the plate if sigma is a positive charge, and it is directed towards the plate if sigma is the negative charge. So with this, we have derived the expression for the sheet. We have derived the expression for the electric field due to a infinitely large sheet which is uniformly charged with positive charge. So once again, we conclude this expression in the vectorial form. E bar is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught into n cap. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for watching the video. Let us meet again. Let us meet again in the next video with another derivation. Thank you all.